Hello, grade 10 students. In this video, we're going to continue with our chapter about the green plants. So we talk about the green plants, we talk about transpiration. What is transpiration? Transpiration is the process of the loss of water vapor through the leaves of the plant. Always, you have to know that transpiration is linked to the opening of the stomata, which are the small opening on the underside of the leaves. These they are linked to the process of transpiration, and they are responsible for the transpiration process. You have to know that transpiration is the loss of the water vapor through some plant organ. Which organs? We verified this using this experiment. We have two plants, plant A and plant B. They are covered with a plastic bag, both of them, and plant A, it has leaves. However, plant B, it lacks the leaves. So the plant that have the leaves in plant A, we have water droplets. They are formed on the inner walls of the plastic bag. Here we have water droplets. However, no water droplets, they are formed on the inner walls of the plastic bag covering the plant B. So here we can conclude that the leaves, they are the organ responsible for the process of transpiration, where the transpiration process occurs. So what's the difference between the plants A and B? We said that the major difference that plant A has the leaves while plant B does not have the leaves. We can ask this question in another form. We can say, what is the variable factor? So the leaves. Which plastic bag water vapor is formed? In the plastic bag covering the plant A. Which part of the plant responsible for transpiration? They are the leaves, and through transpiration, green plants, they release water vapor through their. You have to keep in mind these notes. Autotrophs, they are the green plant, they are the chlorophyll plants. However, the heterotroph, they are the non-green plant, they are the non-chlorophyll plant. Moving to the process of photosynthesis that occurs during day. During photosynthesis, we have to use the carbon dioxide. The plants have to use the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and also they have to use water through the leaves and the help of the energy from the sunlight to give the oxygen to the atmosphere, in addition to the food, which is a type of sugar stored in the form of starch. So photosynthesis is the process where the chlorophyll plants, they produce their own organic matter from inorganic, from water and mineral salts. So here we place two plants, A and B, one in light and the second in darkness. We boil a leaf from each of these plants for a few minutes, where the boiling kills the leaf, and then we dip each leaf in a tube of warm alcohol to remove the green color. So the role of the alcohol is to remove the green color while keeping the tubes in boiling water. We soften the leaves by dipping them in water. Last step, we add iodine solution to test the presence of starch. It gives a dark blue color, meaning that we have starch. Maybe it's blue-black color or dark blue, it's the same. While if there is no dark blue color, meaning that there is no starch. The plants, they make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. As we said before, photo, it means the light, synthesis meaning putting together. Photosynthesis, it takes place in the leaves of the plants. Photosynthesis, the chlorophyll in the leaves, they trap the energy from the light. So this energy will help to combine both carbon dioxide, CO2, and water, the H2O, to make the sugar, which is the food for. The process of photosynthesis includes different steps. So the light that is trapped by the chlorophyll, the pigment that makes the green plant, then we have energy from the sun, start the food making process. So the leaves, they take in carbon dioxide from the air, and the roots absorbs water from the soil. Then the leaf use the energy from the sunlight to combine these two, to combine the carbon dioxide and the water together to make the food, which is the kind of sugar. Then oxygen is the product and is said to be a waste product. It's released in the process of photosynthesis, and is given off by the leaves out to the atmosphere. Photosynthesis, it takes place only in the light. So the sugar produced turn in many plants into starch, which is stored in the plant for later use. So this experiment, it shows the process of photosynthesis where we have a plant is green in color, a part of the plant is covered by a black paper as shown here, and it's left for sunlight for about 2 hours. Then we test the presence of starch. So the part that is not covered, which is these parts, they have dark blue color with the iodine, meaning that we have starch. However, the part that is covered by the black cover, it shows a yellow or orange color, brown, orange, yellow color, meaning that the absence of the starch and there is no photosynthesis in this part, and this explains the importance of light for the process of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis equation, you have to know that carbon dioxide, CO2 with the water, H2O in the presence of the light, it gives sugar and oxygen. NOPS solution. What is this solution? NOPS solution is the liquid that contains all the minerals needed for the normal growth of the plants. One of them is called the NPK. So for example, if you have a bottle and you see a bottle that contains or that's labeled by NPK, what does NPK code for? NPK codes N for nitrogen, P for phosphorus, and K for potassium. So if you have such a question about a labeled bottle containing the NPK, it's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Heterotrophs, like the fungi, they cannot grow in a mineral medium. They need organic substances like sugar, like glucose, sucrose, and others. So in order for the fungi to grow, they have to grow in the presence of sugar and the mineral salts. You have to know that very low temperature and very high temperature inactivate the growth of the fungi. It stops the growth of the fungi. However, you have to know that the optimum temperature, whenever you see the word optimum, it's the best temperature for the growth of the fungus. It's the room temperature, which is about 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. And you have to pay attention that light does not affect the growth of fungus. What is the photometer? Photometer is an apparatus or an instrument used to measure the quantity of water absorbed by the roots of the plant. So this is called a photometer. Roots absorption or root absorption by the mycorrhizae. What is the mycorrhizae? Mycorrhizae is the term used to describe the symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic relationship meaning that both individuals, they are going to have benefits from each other. This is called a symbiotic relationship between a mycorrhizal fungi and a plant's root system. So each of them, they benefit from the other. This is called the mycorrhizae. Mycorrhizae has an important role in the growth of the plants, and let's see this role. Mycorrhizae is a symbiotic relationship or association between a fungus and a plant. This is the growth in the presence of mycorrhizae for ash trees and no mycorrhizae. If you see here, we have a normal growth or more, meaning that a higher growth or a better growth in the presence of the mycorrhizae than in the absence of the. So here you have to know that the length of the ash trees, as we see in the presence of the mycorrhizae, it's much greater than that in the absence of the mycorrhizae. So here we can conclude that mycorrhizae is beneficial and it helps for the growth as well as for the length of green plants. So this is the general conclusion related to the mycorrhizae. Transport of the crude sap. What is the crude sap? What is the role? How crude sap is transported in the green plants? Let's see. Crude sap is known to be the water and the mineral ions. They are taken by the roots from the soil. They move up to the leaves in an upward movement. This mineral solution, water and mineral ions, they're called the crude sap. The conducting tissue that transport the crude sap is called the xylem. It's found where? In the roots, in the stem, and the leaves. And sure, it's composed of many vessels. So the crude sap is transported from the roots up to the stem and then to the leaves by the help of special conducting tissue called the xylem. The crude sap, as I said, has an ascending transport. Ascending means that upward movement. Upward from where to where? From the roots up to the stem and then to the leaves of the plant. Factors that affect the transpiration in the green plants. We have three important factors that affect the transpiration. First one is the light. So light favors the opening of the stomata. Stomata, as we said before, they are the opening on the underside of the leaf. So light favors the opening and then the vaporization of the transpired water will occur. Second, temperature. Transpiration increases with the increase of temperature up to about 30 degrees Celsius. Above 35, the stomata will close. Why? In order to keep the water inside the plant and not to lose it in the hot weather. So above 35, the stomata close. Third factor is the state of the soil. Whenever we have humidity or temperature of the soil, the drop in the humidity or the drop in the temperature reduces the absorption process, and this will lead to deficiency in the water. So this will lead to the closure of the stomata. So here, deficiency in the water, meaning that we have less amount of water than the needed one. So this is lead to deficiency in the water. This process will lead to the closure of the stomata. The stomata will close. This is everything for our session for today. Thank you guys. Bye bye.